Superman and Lois, issue 11. We just had a cataclysmic last episode. It felt like a series finale. A lot of shit went down. So what do we do now? We have to take a little bit of a break and let's talk about stuff that happened leading up to the events here. This was great. Oh, man. Superman and Lois just continues to surprise me at every turn. It just manages to capture everything perfectly that you'd want from these characters and this world. It's really great. So a lot of the stuff we see in this episode is from the pilot, but it's kind of explored more. You know how at the beginning of the pilot we saw how Clark met Lois, how they fell in love and got married, how he showed himself to be Superman to her, all that stuff, and how he wore that amazing suit, just vintage-inspired suit that looks so gorgeous and perfect. Well, we get more of that in here, and we kind of expand on those stories. So I'm going to put this out right now because I think it's important to why we're seeing these things, because the reason we do the flashbacks actually progresses the story, which is kind of interesting. So it is these flashbacks happening because we see that, was it Tal-Rho? I think it's Tal-Rho is his name. I saw somebody write it, but I can't remember if that was like actually what it was. It's Tal-Rho, Morgan Edge. He is implanted himself into Clark's mind, making him relive these moments, seeing why he chose to defend humanity instead of working with the Kryptonians. Which is a cool idea. That is such a comic booky thing to do, such a Superman thing to do. I love it a lot. So the stuff in the flashbacks literally starts with Clark exploring the Arctic, trying to find the fortress. He gets angry, loses control of the crystal. It opens up and expands to the Fortress of Solitude, where he meets his daddy Jor-El. And what I love about this scene is as Clark is training, there is such a perfect transition. Just a switch of actors actually from the young Clark to Tyler Hoechlin Clark. Just when he's running fast and the camera is tilting with him, that was a flawless transition. I didn't even see it happen until it did. I was like, that is really cool. I'm amazed they pulled that off. It was so gorgeous. So then, what do? We got to go home and see Ma Kent. And she's like, I know you need to be who you are now because of the journey you went on. Oh, it's so great. I know people are going to get mad that, like, Ma's dead, which I get it. Martha's an important character. But for the story, I think it makes sense. So we see that she made the suit for him, and now the person he is going to be is the one becoming Superman, which I like. And it's kind of Jor-El who says, too, you're meant to be the savior of these people. You got to find out why you want to save them. And that's like cue in Lois Lane, and we get the amazing shot where Clark goes to talk to Perry White about working at the planet, and he, of course, gets the job. He's stumbling around talking to Lois, and I said it on all my social medias. I'm going to say it again here. Like, the chemistry between Hoechlin and Tulloch literally blows my mind because they really encapsulate the characters in each time period. Like the past stuff is, you know, this like retro, vintage, whatever era kind of feeling, but they really get Lois and Clark's dynamic just from the get-go. You could tell these people both understood the assignment and what they were supposed to say. I'm gonna say it, they have the best chemistry on screen for those characters since Reeve and Kidder. I think it rivals them. I think you could put both of those relationships on screen and feel the tension and rivalry between the two. It's so good. It is so good. So we realize that Lois is kind of like, the Superman guy, I don't really care. Like, he's taken away from actual news that could be told. We also get a Jimmy Olsen reference, which we haven't seen him, and I'm assuming it's still going to be the guy that was in Supergirl. I don't know, maybe. Maybe we'll retcon that and make him a new guy. Who knows? But this racist guy is attacking shops owned by people of color. And I'm like, oh shit, are we doing a Superman slashes the Klan story? Because that was a really good book, and you're gonna tell me we're doing that? Yeah, we are. Some Nazis been attacking people of color and like these like minority groups, and suddenly we see that this guy exists in the world, the villain from Superman slashes the Klan. I'm pretty sure that's what he's from. He's in this world now too. I'm like, that's great. That is such, I mean, it's not great that that character would like be hurting people. You know what I mean? It's great that this character could be in this world, because if you're doing like a vintage Superman story, do a racist. Why not? It makes sense to me. And you see how Superman comes in to save Lois Lane, because Lois Lane goes to interrogate this guy. He's got the flamethrower. Superman comes in to stop her from getting burned up and just smiles at her. And right there, you get the hook between the two characters. And it is so perfect. So well done. You know, we fast forward a couple of years every now and then, and we get like a really funny homage that I really enjoyed seeing, because there was that moment where like the Daily Planet did like the news reporter thing, and we see that Lois is like interviewing Superman, and like I thought it was just so funny because she's like, this guy's literally giving me nothing to go on to actually interview him properly, and her producer off stage is like, I think he likes you. I'm like, yeah, he does. He's like, he keeps looking at you, talking about you. It's great. It's really good stuff. And she's like, that's great, but I'm in love with someone else. And this to me was one of the best moments of the episode. Honestly, I enjoyed the hell out of this moment when Lois just says, I love Clark. He's kind of a goof, but I love him. I'm like, yep, that's it. She never loved Superman, and she idolized Superman, and she liked what he represented, but she loved Clark. And when Clark became that man, that just made her love him even more. I think that's great. And Superman hears it, and he's not even upset. He's just like, yep, okay. So we know Lois and Clark were dating for some time now, and Clark takes her home to go see Martha, and everything's good. And this is where we see that he reveals himself to her, and it slowly progresses from that, and it's just so good. It's so good just to have these moments, seeing these characters. That classic suit looks great. The homage to Smash the Clan is great. The relationship building up between these two is fantastic. It's really good stuff. Everything about this episode just worked. Like, just seeing, I know we saw these beats in the first episode, but it's like, these are good beats. You did something really good when you told these stories. This is what people were like really into when you announced the project originally. It's like, here's the homage to the first issue. Here's the homage to all this stuff. Like, you're building up their relationship, and it's amazing to see. It's incredibly satisfying and just super poignant and fun. I just love these characters and the actors portraying them. It's really good stuff, and I just love how it's all working. Oh, it's such a strong show, and as these memories start to kind of fade in and out, trying to catch up to the present day, like I said, we realize that it is Morgan Edge, Tal-Rho, who is showing Clark these stories, and it's like showing kind of like the reason. Like, of course, you chose humanity over your people, and then we kind of emulate that with, like, the journey of Tal-Rho himself, and he literally kind of did the opposite of Clark when he met his evil daddy, and his evil daddy looks like a villain. Straight up just looks like a villain. Like, they're not even trying to hide it. The guy looks like a terrible dude. And his dad's just like, son, you were supposed to enslave and kill these people so our Kryptonian heritage could come back. Like, why haven't you done that yet? Where the hell's the Eradicator, boy? And he's like, Dad, this planet's big and there's another one here. It sucks here, man. Like, it's terrible. And Jor-El is just like, just in comparison, Jor-El's a terrible father. Of course he is. But in comparison to Tal-Rho's dad, this Jor-El ain't too bad. Kind of interesting stuff. So Clark is still weakened from his big explosion. Of course, we know that. So he can't really, like, fight off what's happening and stop Tal-Rho from destroying him and everything he holds sacred. And in this, like, heat of, like, why aren't you choosing me? You're choosing, what, your Earth kids, your Earth wife? These people don't matter. Our people matter. In this, like, rage, we see that Jor-El kind of, like, yells at me, like, you're a lying son of a bitch. Shut up. You don't matter, dude. Shut up. And in that heat, Tal-Rho kills Jor-El, and we get, like, an I love you, son, from Jor-El, and it's like, wow, in the span of these 11 episodes, because, yeah, it's been 11, we've seen all 4 of Clark's parents die. We saw in the first episode, Pa Kent died when he was younger, then we saw Martha die at the beginning of the pilot, then we saw Lara die again last episode, and now we just saw the hologram of Jor-El die. So Clark lost all 4 of his parents in the span of 11 episodes of television. That's dark. I'm like, whoa, okay. Is he gonna come back? Probably. Unless we can't get the Jor-El actor to want to do any more lines. I don't know. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So Clark's kind of defeated at the fortress. It starts collapsing in on him. Tal-Rho leaves because he's going to go find Superman's family. And we get some great stuff with the rest of the characters. We see that Kyle apologizes to Lois. I've been saying this since day one. Kyle is not a bad guy. He's tried his best. He's messed up, but he's not a bad guy. I always liked Kyle. And here he is apologizing, saying he treated Lois unfairly. That's good stuff. That's really good stuff. It's really fun. Kyle's the best. I always love Kyle. And we also get the revelation. We've all been waiting for it. Pretty much 11 episodes in the making. That Jordan and Sarah are officially going to start dating because the events are pretty traumatic for them. They have a little kissy sesh. I love it. Good for Jordan finally getting his due. Jonathan's like, hey, I'm good to back out, man. Good for you, bro. I love it. So as the family's headed back home, what we see is that Tal-Rho shows up. They think it's Clark, but it's Tal-Rho, and he's coming in to kill them, to end them, so Kal-El can join him. But Superman uses what's left of his strength to come in and stop them from being killed. And it's like, okay, what are we going to do here, Clark? It's either you let your family die or you join me and they live. And Clark ultimately makes the decision he will go with Tal-Rho if it saves his family. And we get like an end shot where we see that Tal-Rho is like experimenting, doing something to Clark to make him evil. And I wonder if this is like something emulating the other world that John Henry Irons is from, where the other like evil Supermen are coming up. If maybe that's what happened on that Earth too, that'd be interesting to see. I'm like, this was a really good episode. You're building up like the reign of the evil Supermen coming in. The flashback stuff was so good. It makes you want to cry, honestly. Like, it just works so perfectly. The Smash of the Clan reference, the relationship between Tulloch and Hotchlin. It's so good. Just perfectly emulates what Superman should be on television and in live action. That stuff slaps. It's really good. I love every second of it. The costume looked great. The fighting looked great. The version I watched, actually, I wanted to bring this up. The version I watched on CW, wherever I can't remember what channel specifically from the CW it was, but there was 2 shots towards the end when they're in the desert, seeing the desert fortress, that you saw that it was like the temporary VFX. So you had like you still had like the, I forget what you call it, but you just had like the stamp, like temporary VFX on it, and you're like, okay. Interesting. I'm like, they kind of messed up there, but I thought that was an interesting thing still to bring up. Kind of interesting stuff. It's great episode, and this show continues to impress me at every turn. Every action that it takes just works so well. Every angle it goes to is so poignant and fun, and I'm excited to see that. I think David Ramsey's coming to the next episode, which I know we got a little bit of a hiatus again. It happens. I like that they're kind of breaking it up to 5 to 5 to 5. I think that works. That works for me. Do that if you have to. I'm enjoying this show. It's really good stuff, and I'm just really happy it's back. Superman and Lois continues to impress at every turn. And again, check it out, guys. This episode is going to sell you on the concept of the show, because the way that this Lois and this Clark play off each other is so great. It's so fun. And we get canonical evidence that Clark likes to eat chicken nuggets while he watches Seinfeld. I love that. So that is my review of Superman and Lois episode 11. Now, thank you guys so much for watching the video. Be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. As always, you can check me out on Instagram, Patreon, Twitter, all that good stuff. And I'll catch you in the next one. Have fun. Stay safe. Good luck.